what happens after the lane phase? Like, close your eyes and imagine it. What the hell can happen in the mid game? Like, what's going to be the main theme of the mid game, if you had to guess? Hey guys, welcome back. This is week 29 of weekly coaching, and we have 2 replay reviews to look at this week. One of them was a difficult game, and another one was a game where the student felt like everything was kind of coming together, and he made a really good comeback. So, Dookie, what's the MMR this week?
2355.
355. Cool. All right. And which 2 games are we looking at here?
The last 2. The comeback obviously is the win with Axe, and then
Okay. Which one do you want to start with?
let's celebrate. Let's watch this Axe game.
Okay. Well, we'll start with the good one. And
It starts off rough.
Sure, it starts off rough, and so mainly we're just looking at we're patting ourselves on the back for this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions about this one?
I mean, so the lane was kind of, I think it was me and I forget who actually. Oh yeah,
You
it
and
was
Earthshaker,
me and Earthshaker versus Jakiro and Razor, and that kind of turned into like a kill lane. Like they were just like Jakiro can slow, and then
yeah, that's a really rough lane for you. For
yeah.
sure.
So I mean, I guess mitigating that a little more. I think like I tried my best to. But
Okay.
maybe like just kind of looking at some of the things I could have done to prevent them getting as much out of the lane as they could have.
Okay, so we'll just say you could lane have gone better.
Yeah.
And then what highlights? What are we looking for? Like the cool parts?
Minute fucking 39, where I hit
39.
a godlike
All right.
a godlike call.
The win probability just swings the other direction.
Yeah.
All right, I'm here for it.
You're gonna be proud.
That's it.
So I think the theme of my games lately and why I hit 2 decent win streaks is the first one happened because I started playing more Sand King.
Okay.
And I just won 4 Sand King games in a row. And I started to kind of think of okay, why is it that I win on Sand King so much? And it's obviously you could just say play Sand King a lot, I've played him a ton and I'm super familiar, and that definitely plays a role in it.
Sure.
But it's I'm probably why specifically though? Is it because I think mechanically, yeah, but not really. It's not like I play Sand King so mechanically better and I practice these little tricks or anything like that. So I'm it's not that. It is some of my familiarity with his kit in a way that I can kind of adapt with skill builds, and he's pretty adaptable with items. So I'm yeah, that plays a role. But what I kind of really figured out was I really know his timings.
Okay.
I know when I can start fucking people up. And I started to realize I don't think I'm taking advantage of those timings enough with my other offlanes.
Okay. That's a good observation.
So I realized I'm Axe. Once I get my ult, you can do a little something, and when you get Vanguard, you can do a little something. But really, it's not until Blink. I have to play for Blink completely.
Yeah. Right.
And that's obvious, but it's it's one of those things where it's that should really determine do I show up at this fight or do I just take this far?
Absolutely, and that's what we've been talking about for a really long time, right? Just trying to evaluate well, what's actually going to happen and what do you need to happen and all that stuff. Thinking ahead. Yeah. So far, lane has looked okay. You chased a little far for the Jakiro. I would say also in this lane, boots are probably more important than Vanguard to get first.
That's what I go for.
Okay. And then really beyond that, it is up to the Earthshaker to help you because this lane is so bad. However, that is I would say that would be cutting creeps and shit, but
yeah. Yeah, that's true. I don't. That's something that I need to do myself. That's one of those things where it's my I didn't really think about that. My support might not do that at this rank, So I might just have to do that.
Well, you kind of. I guess you can. You can.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping you from doing it. I mean, you can't sit behind the tower and farm the creeps. Like, you have to, like, drag them behind your own tower.
Right. Drag them behind and then connect them.
Yeah, there's no reason you can't do that. It's just that
Yeah.
typically you're going to be anchored to, like, the first creep wave, and so it can be hard to connect from the first to the second. Because, like, let me go back a little bit. Let's see. Because basically, you have to get this timing down. You have to be in position because the way the creeps are programmed, like that, you can't drag them, you know, back here.
Yeah.
You have to drag them when they could be pulled. So the hard thing about you doing it as a core is you don't really want to miss these creeps, although maybe you have to for this to work. But you kind of need to be here at like 45, 47.
Yeah.
So if you were to do that in this instance, it'd be like, okay, I've got, you know, 6-7 seconds, and I have to be there for this to work.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think in some games, like, this might be a thing that I need to, like, it's worth trying, because I don't see that at this rank, and it might not be one of those things where I can take advantage of, that people aren't so used to it. That
yeah, absolutely. Because basically there's only, so it doesn't have to be you, but if, let's say, the Earthshaker identified that, like, okay, this lane is unplayable for the axe in theory, right? He is supposed to make sure that this camp is blocked, and then he's supposed to drag them either down this way or this way.
Yeah.
And the reason you need this camp to be blocked is
because they can connect it.
Exactly. Yeah, so they don't pull off of your drag, right? And so you might even want this one blocked as well. It depends. Usually you're okay not blocking this one. But he has to make sure that's happening, and then he's got to drag it, and then he has the question of, do I drag it in front of the tower, or do I drag it behind the tower? And that is dependent on how strong you are. Like, are we dragging here because it's scary to be up this far, or are we dragging here because we don't want to interact at all?
Yeah.
It's basically the two things there. So in this instance, I think he'd be okay to pull them in front of the tower. But then the Jakiro, like, has to respond by, like, making sure that block doesn't happen so that he can connect. And then if it does happen, he has to follow the Earthshaker all the way down here and contest last hits. And so now you're laning against Razor up here for a second, and he's laning against Jakiro here. And it's just weird. And so, yeah, people at this rank won't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
At all. So I guess you could call that cheesy, but, you know. It does work.
Yeah, but it's still, It's definitely something. It's a strategy that I didn't even think about. That's worth thinking about.
Yeah, and just for your own reference, like, when it's a good time to do that is, like, if you know the matchup is bad, then great, do it. But if you don't know when it's bad, if your lane is literally double melee versus double range, then you probably just do it.
Yeah.
That is a really simple way. Like, if you're range and he's melee and if you're against two range, like, maybe you can contribute harass to swing the lane. But if it's double melee, double range, just drag. Fucking drag as soon as possible. That'll help out a lot. Really easy way to lane. Alright. Well, let's see. I don't want to spend too long on this.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, the way that this game goes is they end up taking a really early lead. But I think I do end up killing Razor a few times early, which is, like, definitely what gave us a chance. And then they start taking trades that are, like, like, they take, like, a tower, and then, like, some racks. But overall, the trades is kind of good for us. And then at that minute 39 is the big fucking swing where it's like, we should not have been able to get that, and because we did, we're in it.
Right. By the way, what the hell is going on with that lightning there? Do you see that shit?
Yeah, that shit was...
What the fuck is that?
Dude. Was that Storm?
I think it's his ult, like, flying into our screen or something like that, or it's only happening in, like, fast forward. All right, whatever. Let's jump ahead to let's see what the game looks like around like 35. Okay, they have a 15k net worth lead. So is it just the sick ass call that we're looking for, or is there something else?
I mean, that's the thing that really swings it. And then we have like a bunch of like fights like that after. Basically, that swings it, and then they keep leaning into these bad fights, and then there's no recovery for them.
Okay.
But yeah, it was some of these like earlier engagements, like when they took these racks at the bottom here, where it was like we kind of went even in the trade.
Yeah.
And like that actually is not good for them.
Yeah, right. Definitely. Man, their team's health is scary.
There it is.
Oh shit, I missed it. It was so fast. Let's go fast.
So they set me up for this fucking call.
Nice. 2-man call, good. Like that you chased for more. It's a shame your team didn't. Could be like.
They're gonna stop me from going for more.
Yeah, because that's like exactly the thing you're supposed to do. Like if you just kick their ass, like chase them across the map, because people will get greedy and they'll sit here and like farm. Like, you're not allowed to do this. Like not while we're chasing you, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess a little thing for yourself, like when you're chasing, chase to the camps, chase to the places that they would probably be farming, right?
Yeah.
Which kind of good.
So you can see here, they keep like respawning and then coming at us.
Yeah, they're just chain feeding.
Yep, and then.
Oh, here it is.
Right here.
Let's do some more. Yep. That's good. All right. Well done. Good. But the game pretty much won from this point.
Basically, we keep on taking more fights that just like I think basically that fight allowed for like PA to get the timing that they needed, and now they can blow up Razor, which was the main thing.
That's good. What was you thinking on this halberd, by the way?
Disable Razor.
Okay.
And honestly, it actually disables Storm Spirit in a way, because he can't use the whatever fucking bonus that he gets from his spells.
That's true, yeah.
I don't know how the fuck I lived through this.
I don't know either. Pugna saved your ass.
Yeah, for real.
Poor Pugna. Brawling game, man.
Yeah. It was just crazy because up until if you just like watch like maybe around 20 minutes, we're just getting like demolished.
Yeah.
And then like we get that swing and we just start punching them back.
That's good. Yeah. That's how a lot of my games go.
Yeah. But the good thing also I think was like there was like some people started to get irritated. And one of the things I've been trying to focus on is just like not tilt. Like tilting is just fucking losing.
That's good.
And so
cool.
Yeah, everybody kept their cool, and like even when somebody made a bad play, it was just like, all right, whatever, that happened. Like, what's next?
Yeah.
And we end up fucking winning.
That's good.
And everyone was fucking cool.
Good shit, man. Well,
yeah. But that's what I'm, like I kind of like have been paying attention to more of the timings and stuff, and like I knew like what I needed to do, like in this game. Like I'm just the BKB here.
Yep.
Like that's the one thing that I can do. Like Razor BKBs, I can just jump on him, and now his BKB is wasted.
Yeah, totally. That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
That, and we also needed to take good engagements before they could Magnus ult us.
Yeah, this game
theory,
is really about initiation. That's just
yeah. In theory, like they could get a really great initiation or counter initiation on us. So our initiation has to be like perfect. Like we have to make sure that he's not around and he can't counter initiate, or we just get him.
Yeah. All right. Well, good job. Good job on that one. All right. Time for the harsh one.
Yeah. So this one, I think, came down to just like some bad decision making. Venge kind of griefs a little bit, and that's, but like not fully. Like they just like got mad because we didn't take Torm like when it like really early or whatever, and then they just didn't play around us for a while.
Okay.
And I don't know. It was like a winnable game. Obviously, you can look at the graph and see, you know, but it was just like hard because they have like really good jump, and we win if we survive that jump, but God, is it hard because LC jumps in, Ursa jumps in, fucking Undying is there, Earthshaker can set up, and then Zeusbot like refresher, and so he can just ult twice, and we're already low.
Yeah, it's a little rough. Your team doesn't have a lot of control or tankiness. Like you're the only kind of tanky guy. Those team fights look hard to play.
Yeah, I think this might have just been a game where it was like, if we don't get off a good early game, it's just gonna be fucking hard.
I think it's gonna be hard no matter what, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because Legion is eventually gonna get a blink, and as soon as that happens, the sniper has to like play completely differently.
Yeah. Do you think he should have bought a Lincoln's? Like he should have foregone
against them? Yeah, Lincoln's
Yeah.
is really good because the only Lincoln's pops they have are like Undying W, Legion Duel, and like 2 Zeus spells.
Yeah. See, that's what I thought. He didn't, like, obviously, you know, I've been trying to like, you know, not dwell on the fact that I can't control people's decisions.
Yeah, yeah.
But I told him, he's like, oh, well, I don't think that's that good. And I was like, I think that would at least, you know, that might save a fight where it's a big deal, you know? But,
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. You should go Lincolns against the Legion commander.
Yeah.
That's how you counter that hero.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what are the questions for this game then?
That part's a little hard. I think this is like another kind of, it's not like, you know, Ursa CM, but it's still kind of like a really hard lane.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think that I try to go, I mean, I think just maybe some of my decision making as far as like skill build and item build, I'm a little like unsure of. So I think that I didn't want to go Q at first, but I thought we were going to get first blood with it, and we didn't, so that's just a little rough. But I think I opt to go for my E, with the logic being like, okay, he's got to walk up to me. Like, I'm only at threat of him Fury swiping me if he doesn't think he'll die going for it. So if I can threaten, then he is less likely to try and be able to kill me, because now I will have some sort of like threat to him. Whereas if I take Sandstorm, technically that's safer, but if they pop down like a sentry or they dust, then I'm just fucked. So
so here would be my question, right? So like like you did exactly that. You took whatever the hell it's called, Caustic Finale.
Yeah.
And then they immediately just run you down. So I think your theory is like disproven. I mean, yes, he could buy a sentry, but he doesn't have any right now, as far as you know.
Yeah.
And you're also forcing him to buy that sentry. And also, if he buys a sentry, that's only going to cover one area, right? So you maybe you can't Sandstorm here, but you can Sandstorm here, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Because if you have Sandstorm right now, this gank attempt over, like they're just done. They can't do anything to you, right? That's the main strength of Sand King versus melee heroes, or really any heroes, but especially melee heroes. So I would say, yeah, you probably do need to go Sandstorm level 2 here. And also, I think if you if you're going into your lane, like assuming immediately, like, okay, this lane's gonna suck for me because it's Undying, which is really rough to lane against, and it's an Ursa, who's also rough to lane against, then like taking Q just to get first blood is not actually not worth it for you, because then the first like entire level is like unplayable, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's how I would be thinking of that. Like, I'm going Sandstorm no matter what.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I probably would have ended up going Caustic at first, just because in this rank, people don't tend to be like super aggressive on like the very first wave. So that would have like given, because that was originally my idea when I thought of going, okay, first level I'm gonna go Caustic Finale, and then when we're at like kind of the neutral point, if I can get off a couple of them to hurt him, then the momentum is a little bit in my favor, and I kind of stave off those like that early aggression.
Yeah, but are you banking on him not knowing what to do, or are you banking on like that is 100% the correct thing? You know what I mean?
I wasn't sure, honestly. Like I was like, because like, you see, I end up taking Sandstorm because I do feel like, yeah, I probably do fucking need this. But I was just like, I was very like, I didn't know exactly how to go. Like, I also didn't know, like, do I just need one level in Sandstorm? It just, yeah, it felt very like, you know, I wasn't sure exactly what the best way to approach this was. You know, like, if I go one level in Sandstorm and then a bunch of Caustic Finale, like, then he can't really walk up into it. But if he doesn't, then I don't really get much out of it either. Like, I don't know.
Well, what if you just max Sandstorm and use it to farm?
Well, that was my thought, was like, the other good thing about Caustic Finale is I can burst the lane better than I can with Sandstorm. So that minimizes interactions a little bit more if I use them both. Because Sandstorm, I still have to sit in there and blast hit, where they can, like, that gives them a lot more time to throw down a dust or throw down a sentry. Whereas if I Sandstorm, hit a couple creeps and they all explode, cool, now I'm away, and I still got the whole wave.
I suppose that's true. I guess I would be looking at this like not that I play a lot of Sand King or anything, but I'd be looking at this like, well, if I max the Sandstorm, it makes my lane easier, and then I can also just jungle whenever I want.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like the idea of, well, we're not really going to win this lane, so where am I going to farm? Like, I can go farm camps and stuff with Sandstorm, which I guess you can do with Caustic as well, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, definitely it was a weird one, and I, like, it was kind of a thing where I had, like, a theory on it, and I wanted to try it, and, yeah.
So, I think Cybrick just said in the chat right now, the scaling on Caustic Finale isn't very good, and I'm looking at it, and it kind of isn't, because it's got the max health damage, and that's nice, and a little bit of slow, but the damage itself, it's only going up by 20.
Yeah.
Whereas, well, I guess they're both going up by 20 per level.
Yeah, but Sandstorm is 20 per second.
Yeah.
So that's true.
Yeah. Plus, you've got, like, Caustic Finale, there's no cooldown or mana cost being affected by the points, whereas, like, Sandstorm is, like, you get twice as many Sandstorms that are 4 times as good, basically.
Yeah.
You want to look at it that way. And the duration goes up. So, like, once you get it to what level do you need it to be? Level 3, you have permanent uptime on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this is my feeling is you take Caustic Finale when you're against a melee that doesn't threaten you, whatever the hell that is.
Absolutely.
Maybe you you take Finale against like an AM or something like that.
No, I've definitely had the situations where it's like, this is the game to fucking max Caustic Finale, and I get a bunch of kills because of it.
But in a game like this, I think you just take Sandstorm. Like, with the idea, it's like, I'm kind of just going to survive the lane, and then I'm going to recovery jungle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, luckily we didn't have the worst lane in the world because of the sniper.
Yeah. Giga Chad sniper ganking. Nice job, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my opinions on that. What other questions for this game?
That's kind of hard to say. I guess like, I'm not sure exactly like what we like. Maybe like what's our win condition here? Like obviously, like you could say AM is the win condition, but it just feels like even when he like gets like even when he hits his timing, like it didn't make that much of a difference. Like we were still about like even at most and losing for most of the time. I don't know.
So I would say, regardless of what happens after the lane phase, like what is the, like if you just like, you know, close your eyes and imagine it, what the hell can happen in the mid game? Like what's going to be the main theme of the mid game, if you had to guess?
Them just searching for kills on us.
With which hero?
With LC.
Yeah, LC, and you got the Zeus global, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna have probably or Ursa either just free farming or like snatching Roche while that's happening, or he's gonna be in those kills. So basically, this game comes down to: are you worried about a Legion ganking you or not? Which means your sniper and your AM kind of have to build Lincolns. And then once they can do that, then you're not worried about the Legion, and then you can like split push a lot more, which is what the AM wants to do. And then other than that, like your team fights are basically just protect snipers. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of just like honestly maybe what just lost us this game is that they just refuse to build Lincolns.
Yeah,
because
probably
a lot of it comes down to like we take a fight, sniper gets jumped, and it's like I can do what I can to protect him. Like I think it's another game where I build obviously like Halberd, and I didn't build pipe too early, which I think was right. I wanted to get your opinion on that.
I wouldn't bother with it. I mean, like two of their damage sources are like 100% physical, pretty much. Like Legion and Ursa is just crazy right click damage.
That's how I felt, and then he fucking got refresher, and I was like, shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, your supports can buy like glimmer capes and stuff. You theoretically have healing on Coddle. Honestly, an AM should not be worried about magic damage because he has magic resistance by default.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of just the sniper is the only one really worried about it, and they can buy a glimmer for him. Like I wouldn't buy a pipe if it's Ursa, Legion, Zeus core.
Yeah.
If it was like Leshrac, Zeus, or I don't know, Timber saw Zeus and they had a Venomancer, then maybe I would get one. But like here, I wouldn't bother with it. I think maybe Crimson Guard is okay this game, but I also think like the same thing that applies to Sniper and Legion apply to you as well. So if you can get a Lincoln's, then you could do that too, and you can split push like crazy.
Yeah.
Cybrick is saying Yules is great this game. I think Yules is always nice just for securing your Sandstorm, right? Because you just Yules when they dust you. You can also Yules a Legion if she doesn't have BKB when she's dueling. That's nice. And other than that, I don't really see the point of the Yules. Kind of like two uses. They're not a debuff team, so that's not great.
I think you think maybe because no, we did. Never mind. I don't know. It also felt like they just ended up so tanky too. Like towards the end of the game, like I feel like my fucking ult did like nothing.
Sure. I mean, well, that kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Late game magic damage. I don't know. Yeah. I think the game plan here is just like you're waiting for those core items and you're just protecting sniper.
You know what I did think about? I thought, and I didn't end up going with it, that I kind of wonder is if maybe Ags because it ended up with my ult being so useless. I mean, not useless, but you know, like maybe I just, you know, I'm gonna be sitting in Sandstorm anyways. Like if I can just disrupt the fight as much as possible, make it even more difficult.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, that probably would have been a better.
I mean, stuns are like, okay, so theoretically stuns aren't even that good. Because they have Enrage, which is strong dispel, and they have Press C-Tac, which is strong dispel.
Yeah.
So you kind of like this match is just kind of all about just like damage and survival. I think it's not terribly technical. Ursa status resistance doesn't work against Yules. That is incredibly specific, but I guess yeah, that's the other idea is that like Ursa hits Overpower or Enrage and you just Yules him. Okay, I guess both of the Legion and the Ursa are like a little bit vulnerable to Yules, but I think Halberd makes sense too. Halberd is fine. Vanguard for early game makes sense. You need a blink, obviously. Yeah, I think I maybe would just buy Lincoln's next.
Yeah.
And then for your last item,
you know what? I'm such an idiot. I don't think about the fact that I could just fucking put Lincolns on other people.
you can, but that's only like a band-aid solution because you can't be like in this situation, like, you know, can you Lincoln's a sniper right now? Like, you guys are across the map from each other. So it's like, that helps in fights. That doesn't so much help when you're playing the map.
Right, for sure.
Which is the issue. The issue is getting through this mid-game.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you itemize to do that, then great.
Yeah.
Because you're just kind of buying time for Sniper to kill everybody.
Yeah.
Like, AM is kind of a non-factor to me right here. He's not very good against these heroes. Like, he's counterpicked really hard by this Legion. And he's okay against an Ursa, I guess, but I don't think that's a favorable matchup for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I just need to become unpredictable and become a map terror.
Basically. Okay, interesting fight. What the fuck just happened?
She fucking, what is it? Overwhelming odds and fucked us up.
Nice. Yeah, and the way your supports play into this as well is kind of interesting because you have two backline supports. You got Glimmer, Solar Crest on your Venge, which I think makes sense.
Yeah. And
you got Ags on Coddle and a Yules.
Yeah.
So I think your supports they have the right idea too, but
yeah. Well, I think also if can you look back on that fight and see what the fuck Venge was doing? Because this might have been the point where Venge was mad at us. Which also did obviously not help.
Well,
not to say that like it would have been a drastic change in the fight or anything, but
sure. But what was why was he mad right now?
He was mad because we wouldn't stop and take Tormentor.
Okay. Well, hindsight's 2020, and so is spectator mode. But you guys do have a 10k lead right now, so I feel like fighting for your tier 1 does make sense.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
But
so
I also just think like anything that you get mad to the point of like you just say, okay, well I'm just AFK till you guys.
Is he hogging all the wards to just grief you guys?
I couldn't tell. Honestly, I noticed that later, and I'm like, hey, Venge, could you put down one of your 6 fucking wards?
Yeah. This Venge should really be here for this fight, I think. Would be quite nice to have a swap right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sounds like you're getting griefed a lot lately.
Yeah.
Not much
Such
you can
is
do
the
about
life. That's why I don't know. Honestly, the main thing that I've been focusing on is like not getting tilt back.
Yeah, which is good. That's definitely like if you can develop that skill, that's good.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. A lot of these games are just kind of like, okay, this guy was a moron, and this guy was flaming, and this guy was AFK. Like, what do I do? And it's like, well, I don't fucking know. Go next.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Sometimes there really just isn't anything you can do about it. But I think, assuming this Venge wasn't griefing, I do think it's like your game plan is the tanky disruptive guy who can go anywhere on the map.
Yeah.
Which is this entire patch.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah. It just like it didn't feel like a game we had to lose, which is what sucks. You know, like I don't know.
No, I don't think you should lose this game necessarily,
Yeah.
because I think you guys have a lead against an Ursa Legion, which is kind of enormous. Like that's
Yeah.
should be flipped right now. Let's see though. Where do you guys actually?
I
lose
think.
this game?
Yeah. I think. You know what happens is, they fucking forced. This is the dude.
This
If
is it.
anybody watching this shit, please don't fucking like learn. Don't do this shit. We take. It's not here. It's we take Roche, and then of course it's like, okay, time to high ground, and it's
Yeah.
like you don't have to do that. We
Yeah.
can just say, hey, we can do whatever we want on the map now. Please come fight us, because we will win.
Basically.
You know?
Yeah, let's see. That's the first throw.
Yeah.
No AM here for this whole thing. So okay, did you feel like this push was stupid? Just this tier 2 push?
I'm trying to think what I was thinking during this time. They have Legion down. Yeah, I mean, I would say Legion's coming back up. Probably not the fight we want to take. But I think I didn't necessarily think of it as bad because we had AM. But we didn't have Bench.
Okay, you saved, well, almost saved the sniper.
Yeah.
And then just still griefing you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think maybe we should have taken it into account. Look, we're 4v5 just because we took that. Well, you know, that's the hard part about fucking stupid shit like that, man.
Yeah.
Is like you take a good fight, you're like, cool. Like we're 5v4 now. It's like, no, you're 4v4.
Basically, yeah. Oh, you went Shivas. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Shivas makes sense too.
That's
Sort
what I
of.
was like. Yeah, I was like, okay, if I can't get him to buy Lincolns, like I just need to make their fight worse.
Hmm. And the problem is Lotus Orb doesn't help at all.
That's also, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Is just like the Lotus Orb doesn't really do anything here.
Unless it's the next level bait and you Lotus Orb because you know he can win the duel, and then they get double duel damage.
Does
Then-
that actually work?
Yeah, it does. It's 2 duels going on at once.
That's sick.
It's freaking weird. Oh, time to
yeah,
Tormentor. Where's my Venge?
Yep, that is exactly what I said.
Whatever.
I think I was literally like, come on, can we please just make this guy happy?
Sometimes that's what you gotta do.
Yeah. And then this goes bad. Maybe we didn't take Roche this. I can't remember. Maybe it was a different game. Yeah, 'cause I'm pretty sure this game is just really fucking hard. This. It's just like a lot of like, you know, delayed because sniper.
Go
You know what I
back because
mean?
I think
Hi.
the graph said it was around here, 32 minutes.
30, was it?
Yeah, that's where like the well, we have to just look at the net worth, right? So you guys died in mid. So we have 3K right now. You can get net worth advantage. And sniper is top net worth. It's basically the next thing that happens. That's the
Yeah.
first throw. Okay, here's a question. So did you do Tormentor because Bench was bitching about it, or because you felt like it was the best option?
I did it because maybe a little column A, column B. Like
Oh.
I thought like we're behind. We don't really want to extend on the map too much, so it kind of makes sense. And also
Sure.
like it'll make Ven shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I think it's a good time to do Tormentor anyway.
Yeah.
But I would be really careful about only doing things because one guy is complaining a lot.
No, absolutely. I wouldn't have just been like, oh, we just wiped them. Let's go do Tormentor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay, she gets picked off. So it's this fight.
Yeah. How did Sniper die?
He TP'd on top of the tower. We'll watch it
But,
in 1x.
Yeah, does he just get killed by Undying? Zeus. Oh, that's what happened. Maybe Sniper needs BKB. Yeah.
Sniper's positioning was bad. You guys didn't
Yeah.
stun lock or Shaker enough, so he got his ult off, and then AM got dueled. That's what happened. Basically.
But do you think BKB is a good item for him? I mean,
For Sniper?
yeah,
No,
in this
not really.
game, because he's got it. I mean, he kind of doesn't want to obviously go BKB Lincolns.
No. Why? Was he
Yeah.
saying I'm going to go BKB? Because I think it's garbage.
No, I was just looking at it and wondering because Zeus can throw down on him and then Shaker, and then like the Legion just follows up pretty easy after that. So I didn't know if
So,
maybe that would help, but
I would only
yeah.
buy BKB. So basically, I would only buy BKB for magic damage if they had multiple heroes doing a lot of magic damage.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're buying it so that you don't get stunned or slowed or silenced. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
So in this instance, like the only thing it's really protecting you from is like Earthshaker stuns and Lightning Bolt and Nimbus. Because
Yeah.
Ursa, I mean, I guess
Yeah,
slows
Ursa's gonna kill you, yeah.
Yeah, like Undying doesn't really. I guess you can walk away from Tombstone. It's not very good. I wouldn't BKB here. I think the
Okay,
Lincolns
yeah.
just solves the Legion problem, and then
Yeah.
all he has to do is just position correctly
Position
for the rest
better,
of That's
yeah.
it. Because he
Yeah,
doesn't
I
care
agree.
about magic damage. He has Satanic. He just heals
Yeah.
through it, right?
That's true.
So it's just kind of like, I don't know. For him, also Coddle should fucking be here right now.
Yeah.
Coddle should be here. So this is a miscommunication thing. So I guess like when you guys decided to TP top, you don't have Venge, and Coddle didn't come with you.
Yeah.
So if it was a communication thing, like where it's like, hey guys, can we defend top? And everyone said yeah, and then the Coddle just like didn't TP you, and like it's his fault. But if that communication doesn't expressly happen, then you are sort of gambling that your team's actually going to come defend with you. Because you two TP in, okay, it's AM, you, and Sniper. All the cores are TPing in, like, yeah, let's defend this tower, right?
Yeah.
But you have no Venge, and she doesn't have buyback, and Coddle isn't showing up. So basically, like, defending this tier 2 at all without 5 heroes is the mistake.
Yeah.
They've already taken a tier 2, which means they can take your outpost. So this is just gold for the tower. Like, it's tier 2s don't matter anymore that much once one of them goes down.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, just fighting this at all is a gamble.
Yeah. I mean, I wish they would have fucking used the trees, because I mean, this is a gamble anyways, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to say, but like I don't know. I just hate that they TP'd in Vision. Because
Well,
at the very least, it gives us a little bit more burst potential on Legion, and if Legion's down, like, their fight has less teeth.
Sure. So the way this is supposed to work, let's say, like, you had all 5 and you were deciding, let's defend this tower, right?
Yeah.
Basically, how this is supposed to work is you TP pretty much where you did or where Sniper is. Sniper TPs to the tier 3.
Right, to the tier 3.
Your supports either TP to the tier 3 or TP with you, but probably because they're kind of backline saves, they just TP where Sniper is too. So you would TP up here, and then AM is supposed to wait as long as possible and split push, and then TP like last and show up and clean up.
Right.
So maybe AM fucking TPs to the outpost and comes up behind them.
Yeah.
You know? That's how this is supposed to go if it's a 5-man decision to defend this tower.
Yeah.
And if it isn't, then it's just, well, this is just a bad fight and a bad
This is just
PV,
bad. Yeah.
basically. So, I guess the takeaway is it's your job here to recognize, like, all right, we don't have 5 heroes. We don't actually know where everybody is because we have no vision. All we see is Legion, right? And like, I need to know that everyone is going to be on the same page if we make this play, because this play is sort of a gamble. This is like smoking to go sneak Roche. It's kind of the same thing. Like, if everybody's not on the same page, this is not going to work, right?
Yeah.
And that's basically it. So I think if this fight just doesn't happen, I think you guys are good. But it's just a terrible fight because, you know, AM doesn't have Lincolns, and Sniper just gets gone on by an Undying? Yeah, it sucks. Anyway, that's enough of that game. So let's see. I guess... So, game 2 questions. Lane phase skill build. I think I would have gone Sandstorm level 2.
Okay. Yeah.
Level 2, and probably I would just max the Sandstorm and just focus on like using that to survive and farm.
Yeah. I agree.
I don't think your items are bad. I think the idea of a halberd is good. But I think getting a Lincoln's kind of makes you almost invulnerable.
Yeah.
So Lincoln, so you can split push like crazy because you're just not scared of Legion anymore. Now she has to buy a whole item to duel you.
Yeah.
Right? So you don't want to do that. It doesn't necessarily solve the problem in fights because the Zeus can just pop the Lincolns.
Yeah.
But it, you know, on the
No,
map,
but that's
it's
that's a good point. I mean, even just like sometimes in a game like this where it's like once they hit a certain point, it's going to be really overwhelming for us. Like just doing something that delays their timings,
Yeah.
as simple as that, can be really effective. Yeah, that's a good point.
And then I guess just like there weren't really any other questions for this game in particular, right? But like
No, yeah, it was just kind of like
tier 2 defense was a throw.
yeah.
That's pretty much it. I mean, like the only other thing about this game is like just understanding that this game is about protecting Sniper in team fights, and your Venge is griefing the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Venge is griefing. That's basically it. There's nothing you can do about that. If she's gonna buy literally all the fucking wards and never place them, like, you just report this person, you know?
Yeah.
That's pretty annoying, so, you know, especially because it's like, guys, why won't we do Tormentor? And then you guys do anyway. Like,
Yeah.
these people need to like go away.
That's like the other thing of like, dude, that's such a weird thing to like a hill to die on.
It is. It's very, very strange, especially when you're up 10k. It's just like, dude, fucking go buy one. Like, you want your shard that bad? Go buy one. I have to do that all the fucking time. My team will not just go do Tormentor, and I'm like, I need it. I'm gonna buy it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to wonder if that's actually what the meta should be. Like, the Tormentor is not for the supports to get their shard; it's for the cores to get a free shard. You know?
Yeah.
Who knows? Because then they would go do it more. If they were like, "Oh, I go Tormentor, I get free shard," they would go do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we didn't look at the homework at all. So let's talk about that. So
Yeah.
the homework for last time was look at your hero pool for each role and assess if it's hitting the requirements of question 1, which was what do we do in greedy drafts, which is be versatile, reliable, and greedy, right?
Yeah.
And then play more unranked if ranked isn't going well. So how did that homework go?
I think I honestly have been playing less greedy per se, but I have been playing my strong heroes too, because I think I'm playing the heroes where I know when my timings are.
Sure.
So like Axe, you know, like I know when I can start being active. I played a couple God, I have the worst memory in the world. The Tidehunter games. Those went well. So just playing those sorts, and obviously, like, I got a bunch of Sand King wins. Like, that kind of instilled in me, like, okay, that's what I really need to be focusing on, because those are the things that are winning me games. Like,
Okay.
not just like getting strong, but getting strong and then taking advantage of it the second I have an advantage.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that sounds good then. So that was good. So
because I
keep
think
that in
I've
mind, though. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Finish.
I think I've been overcorrecting with the split pushing to the point where I was gimping my game by like, you're strong now, but you're spending that time doing something that is technically good, but is it the thing like we talked about before? Like, could you just hit the ancient right now if you just, you know?
So from a certain perspective, it's sort of a game philosophy thing. The idea of like we just split push forever is theoretically better than everything else you could do.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like, do we siege this castle, or when do we actually go storm the castle?
Right.
Like get our battering ram and our ladders and shit. Or what if we just sit outside forever and they just run out of food?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you kind of get what I'm saying?
Right, for sure.
Where it's like, theoretically, if we just out-farm them on the map for 45 minutes, we just automatically win. Like, all you got to do is, like, take one team fight, and then the game's over, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean that, like, more so when I say, like, hitting... I mean more like, could I just do something more direct that gives us the win instead of just split pushing?
Sure.
Like, if I just grab a smoke now that I got my blink dagger, like, does that just secure the map? You know?
Yeah, I think that's probably a more proactive and a more like useful way to be looking at it. Because that is gonna lead to more wins in the short term, and it's also gonna teach you more. So like if all you ever do is just like split push and never show up to fights, you're never gonna learn like, oh, I could have won that fight right there.
Right.
But if you're like testing the limits, like, cool, I got blink, let's smoke and go, then you're immediately going to learn if that was good or not, right?
Right.
So from that perspective, it's totally worth doing. Lately, what I've been doing is like, well, this is a little bit different because I play position 4 and 5, but lately what I've been doing that's been working really well is just fucking TPing to everything. Like, not even really trying to evaluate too hard if it's like a good fight or not. Just be like, fuck it, I'm there, and I just TP like safely, and then I like try and contribute to the fight, and that's actually helped me a lot recently.
Yeah.
Purely because it's like so active, and it's like I can't be letting people like get ganked and shit like that. It's probably a little bit different for the offlane, but like maybe thinking along those lines as well might be helpful. It is sort of the exact opposite of what we were talking about, of like, you know, assess first and then decide if it's a good idea. It's actually like, don't bother assessing at all and just go.
Yeah, but I think that's like it's kind of good because I've needed to experience the two extremes.
Yeah.
Because now that I like have done all of the split pushing a ton, it's like that's wired in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I see a lane, I see I can push it safely, it's pushed. You know? And now it's like reaching the balance of like being able to evaluate when's the time to do that versus when is the time to be proactive and take a fight.
Absolutely. And that's, I mean, ultimately, like, that's the answer, is it's always going to make a mixture of everything, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a mixture of being greedy and playing safe and taking risks and only doing things that are guaranteed. And
I think for a long time I avoided doing that because it meant that I had to like rely on teammates. And I think in the lowest rank, you just have to like really play greedy. But I think I'm at a point where it's like, okay, I need to start taking advantage of this and using my team. Even if they fuck it up, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, people are good enough now to where like sometimes that shit is just not going to work, you know, just constantly pushing lanes in on them, you know. Like, you obviously you want to reach that, like, but sometimes it can't be that simple as like, well, I'm just gonna show up to every lane and push it, and then they're gonna be like, whoa, how did that happen?
You start having to like temper it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because they'll start like baiting waves and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But it's still good. Like it is still true that whoever can push waves faster or more often is generally going to have the advantage.
Yeah.
Okay. So for homework next week,
I think maybe.
how about let's just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Just next week, just bring me a replay where you drag the creeps behind your tower.
Okay.
Just whatever. Just
Try it. Yeah.
just to fucking try it. Because if you haven't even tried it yet, like that'll just open a whole new door for like, oh my god, I don't even have to play this lane at all.
Yeah.
I
No,
can just
'cause
do this.
that's a whole mechanic I just have not been using. That like I've watched Immortal players do all the time, and I don't know why I haven't thought to like incorporate that into my game.
Yeah. Go ahead and just do that. That real simple homework, just try that out. See how that goes, because I think that'll be really helpful. Especially when you're in a freaking Razor Jakiro Axe lane.
Yeah.
That is probably one of the worst lanes I can imagine for an Axe who has an Earthshaker support. That is quite bad.
Yeah.
Because the only answer is he links you and you get fucking dual breath, and so the Earthshaker has to land a perfect Fisher to save you. That's it.
Yeah.
That's not proactive. We don't like that, so.
Dunked on that motherfucker though.
So yeah, that'll be homework for next time. I think we can call it there. I think we're good. We're at 56 minutes, which is longer than I want, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine.
It's good. I feel like things are coming together. I like the past few. I think the past few weeks I felt like I've lost a lot more than I won, and I feel like I'm starting to swing back in the other direction. It has been really feast or famine though. Like if you look at it, I'm not really going like
one-way stops.
Yeah, well, it's like it's not a lot of like win loss. It's like win loss win loss.
So I would say that is probably due to when you're playing, or if you are like binge queuing. That's where that comes from.
Yeah, see, that's normally what I do. Is like I normally like just find time where I have like time to play a bunch of games, and then I just play a bunch of games.
Yeah, so that's gonna happen because either because you're gonna be stuck queuing at a time where like everybody's freaking toxic or something, or you're gonna be queuing and you're just gonna be on the back of like loss after loss after loss, and you're gonna tilt and not even realize it, and then it's gonna screw you up, Or like if you were tired that day and you play 3 games in a row, it's tired. Like I just lost 2 games. Normally I would say like, okay, I'm not going to queue ranked anymore. So what I'll probably do is like maybe play like a turbo or something to reset and then try ranked again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also know, right now it's 5:30 p.m. So I know right now don't queue US West because that's when people are getting off work and they get home and they're frustrated. So right now I should queue US East. Like that's the amount of thought I put into like whether or not I'm going to queue or not. We're going to throw that on the fucking homework too. Think about when you're queuing, because that is what that means. Like if you're having win and loss streaks, that's where that comes from. Your match history should be more win loss, and then all you need to aim for is just getting like a couple more wins and losses, and you climb.
Right.
All right, cool. Let's call it there. Alrighty, if that was helpful, don't forget to check out the playlist at the end of the video. Leave a comment down below if you had any questions about these 2 games. And if you're interested in getting coached by me, just leave a comment or message me on Twitch or in my Discord. Those links will be in the description. And don't forget, like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!